Hi guys, John here, Common Sense Outdoors. We're indoors today because we're making a couple batches of jerky, and I thought I'd go ahead and show you guys how I do that. Well, let me, if I can get the salt open. I'm going to come around and tip the camera down so you can see what I'm doing. Hopefully the food dehydrator right here next to the camera is not making too much noise. I've been working it over time, so I thought we'd make some jerky too. First thing we're going to do is get 2 cups, 2 packed cups of brown sugar. I like the dark brown sugar, a little bit sweeter than the light brown, I think. A little bit more in that. Okay, 2 cups brown sugar. It's off my hand. We're going to do 2 tablespoons coarse ground pepper. Got this at a local store that sells bulk. Oops, spilled some extra. It was like 93 cents an ounce, I think. 2. Okay, the recipe calls for 2. I'm going to add extra on this batch. So I put almost 3 tablespoons of coarse ground pepper there. Next one is dried minced garlic. 1.5 tablespoons. 2 tablespoons of salt. Quarter cup of soy sauce. Third cup of Worcestershire sauce. Then we're just going to take a fork and mix that up real good. Get that liquid ingredients to soak into that brown sugar. We're going to use, I took some deer meat out of the freezer and cut it up. So we're going to use some deer to make jerky today. You can use any kind of meat you want with this recipe. Well, I change it quite a bit for fish, but I guess I shouldn't say any kind. Got that good mixed up. Then we're just going to dump our strips of meat in. I cut my strips of meat the most important thing is that you try to keep them as uniform as possible. In other words, the same size. If you have really thick pieces and really thin pieces, obviously the thin ones are going to cook way faster. I like to make them about the size of my pinky, thickness wise. We just take the meat and dump it in. This is the part where we get to get our hands dirty. Just give it, stir it up. Get that brine coated all over it. Then what I would do is pat it all down flat so that it's down in the juice. Then we're just going to cover it. We're going to put it in the fridge for a minimum of 3 hours to let it marinate. What I like to do is do this part right here, cover it, put it in the refrigerator overnight, and then I'll take it out and make the jerky the next day. When you, hang on, let me rinse that. When you take it out the next day, you're going to want to have a bunch of round toothpicks, not the square ones. They don't pull out right. And when you take it out, you're going to take your pieces of meat. You can see how they'll be coated with that coarse pepper and minced garlic. That brown sugar is going to soak into them and give it a little bit of a sweet to go with the spicy. But you want to take your toothpicks and stick it through right at the very tip of your piece of meat. That way when it's dry, if the toothpick has a hard time pulling out, you can just break it out. If you put it down here further, it's going to be a lot harder to get that toothpick out. Okay, so then you just cover that up and put it in the fridge. Like I said, I do it overnight. But I'm going to pull off a little bit of cooking show magic. You know how they put something in the oven and pull out one that's already done? Let's go over here to the oven. And right about there. Okay, what you're going to want to do when you get ready to put it in the oven, which by the way, I like this jerky in the oven better. I have a smoker. Sorry, trying to get that adjusted just right. I have a smoker. I like it better out of the oven. The smoker dries it out too much for my liking. I mean, it dries it out obviously and makes jerky in the oven too. It's just, I don't know, my preference I guess, but you don't have to have a smoker this way either. And this is just finished. Actually, we've already gotten into it a little bit, but so yeah, when you pull out your brined meat the next day and you're ready to make it, like I say, you put your toothpicks right through the top of the strips and you just hang them on the trays or the top rack. Put your top rack all the way up on top, put your bottom rack all the way on the bottom, and then make yourself a aluminum foil tray on the bottom to catch all the drippings. And you should be able to see I've made ridges on the edges all the way around to make sure that it's not going to leak out, make a mess in the oven. But you want to set your oven at, if it'll go down to 165, go with 165. This oven goes to 170. Ran it at 170, and it'll be 8 or 9 hours. If it'll go down to 165, probably closer to 9 hours. And if you could smell this, you'd probably break out some meat and try making it right now. And I've yet to have anybody complain.
I'm gonna eat that piece. Alright guys, there it is, jerky in the oven. Hope you like it, give it a try, I think you will. Thanks for watching, thank you for your support, more videos coming soon.